women do not need men. Is it the reality now?
I think for like immediate material needs,
Do you think or do you agree that men in general do not like to see women succeed?
I will say
What's that one green flag you always look in a guy?
I think a huge one is how they.
Hi guys, you both look lovely together. First of all, and so
Together we're not dating.
yeah, yeah. Sorry for my poor English, but
No. I thought you
Yeah.
thought we were not.
no. Yeah. So I would like to know how are you feeling today, first of all.
Pretty good, yeah. We had been meaning to come to Cubbon for a very long time, so we finally actually made it work. And yeah, we're just coloring. We got breakfast and we're just coloring in the park now. So pretty good.
Yeah, I feel good. I
Feel
feel
good?
like, yeah, coloring super grounding. Yeah, I feel like we haven't met in a while, and I feel like we're just catching up. But because we have an activity to do, it's like I feel my nervous system's more regulated, so I feel like we can have longer conversations.
Okay.
Because I feel like sometimes if you're just staring at the other person and just talking, you run out of things to say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not that we can't sit in silence, but
Do you think or do you agree that men in general do not like to see women succeed? So I'm talking in terms of the Indian
yeah. Also, that phase, I
patriarchal.
wasn't like offended by that question. I'm just like, that's you're opening a whole different conversation, which I have a lot of opinions about.
Yeah. So because we live in a, I'm talking about the Indian society context.
Okay.
We live in still today we live in a patriarchal dominated society.
Definitely.
So and all the rules are defined by them.
Yeah.
And usually it's the women who is always scrutinized whenever she talks her heart out or whenever she is rising to the high levels.
Yeah.
So, and even if you say if a controversial thing is said by women, it is taken always in a negative context. But if a man does it, we do not question that guy a lot. I've been seeing the same in my reels as well. So I wanted your point of view. That do you feel the same that women in general are scrutinized more when they come out all in the society?
100% yes. I will say I don't think that's just an India thing. Obviously, it is more apparent in societies like this, which are more traditional and patriarchal. But having lived in different places, it's kind of a universal thing. Like even these days, like women are more successful on their own, and we're supporting ourselves and we're building our own careers, and we're not really reliant on even as recently as one generation back, like our parents' generation, of where it was seen as like you need to get married in order to succeed in life. Like success in life as a woman was like get married, have kids, raise a family types. But so much has changed just in that one generation. Like just seeing like for example, like my mom or my aunts at my age and like what they were doing, they were pretty much all married, all already like having kids. And, it's very different for everyone I know who's my age. It's, obviously everyone's family still wants them to get married and blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot more opportunity for that. And I think that men maybe are resentful of that almost because it used to be that women needed men. Like we were very reliant on men to do basically anything with our lives. But in such a short time, that's pretty much switched 180, like very drastically. Nice.
Wow.
It's changed very drastically. And I think that men might be having a hard time adjusting to that and realizing that like we're good on our own and just that men have to bring a lot more to the table now than they maybe did before. Before it was just like have money.
Okay.
Take care of us. That's all we need. But now like women are doing that for ourselves. Like we're building our communities, we're building our careers. So I think as well with like speaking out and all of that, women have a much stronger voice in like more recent generations than did before. So it all comes back to I think it's a lot of resentment or maybe men feeling like they're left behind. Although women succeeding more doesn't mean men are being left behind. I think it's just that's not what they're used to seeing. And that's like the emotion that brings up, even though it's not it. Like we're just doing our thing. It's not like we're not trying to do anything like that. But yeah. So
yeah, I think more or less I do. I don't think these men necessarily don't want to support their women. Like it's kind of like some things are conscious and some things are subconscious, right? And subconscious is fully based on your conditioning, how you've grown up, right? So even if, like, let's say I'm dating somebody and like I'm more successful than them, which has happened in a lot of my relationships, just because I don't think these men necessarily don't want me to succeed. In fact, that's something they admire in me. But I feel like somewhere at the back of their head, because of the way they've been raised, they see it as a lack, you know, for within themselves. But I mean, India is so diverse in terms of its population. They're very educated, very open-minded people, and then there's, you know, the rural areas, which of course, like, because they haven't been given the same opportunities that we have, they still carry those traditional thinkings. But I feel like city people more, I don't think they're bothered by anything. I think a lot of men, at least the men I associate myself with, because whenever I see a man and he looks straight up misogynistic, no way I can have a conversation with him or even be friends with him.
Yeah, just a caveat, like, the men in my life are all, if any of them end up seeing this, they're all lovely. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's not like an all men, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that those ideals and mentality, like, it's definitely out there and it is prevalent, but obviously I know a lot of, like, amazing men who I really love and value in my life. So that's not.
Yeah, so I think it really depends on who you surround yourself with, but I don't think all men are like that. I think a lot of men have gotten comfortable with women being more successful. And even if they're not, they gotta get used to it, because
it's happening anyway.
Yeah.
So, do you think women do not need men? Is it the reality now?
I think for, like, immediate material needs, no. Not in the, I'm not trying to generalize and, like, everything, but at least, like, speaking for myself, like, no, like, I'm working and provide for myself. There's nothing I need from someone else. But obviously, like, the companionship and this and that, like, that's still human nature. And in that sense, I wouldn't say it's a need, but that's still something that naturally people want. But in terms of, like, needing someone to sort of provide for me, no, I don't need anyone in that sense. But of course, like, as a human, you still long for connection and, you know, maybe not relationships in that sense of the word, but that sort of social aspect of it. Yeah, like, we're social animals. Like, we do need and crave that, and that's natural. But yeah, in terms of need, like, I can get by. I'm fine. I'm managing all my own shit. I don't need that from anything else.
So for me, I do want to have a child one day. Unfortunately, we still need men for that. If I could have a child with a woman, I'd do it. But I mean, you can kind of do that too, right? I feel like no. I think nowadays they can, like, have 2 eggs and fuse them.
I read something about that.
No. So that's just 1 egg and 1, like, sperm.
I think I'd read something about this, something like bone marrow, something.
Yeah, where you can have, like, so no, but, like, jokes aside, everybody needs a companion, be it a man or a woman. Just somebody who experiences life with you and through you. And love men, just love the right kind of men.
Yeah.
Maybe what you're trying to say is you don't need men to provide you, but on the emotional front, everyone needs an emotional partner.
Like,
in their
someone.
life.
Doesn't have to be romantic, like, maybe, but just some kind of partner through life, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are, like, single or dating, and
I am dating. Yes, I'm dating. I was single for a couple of years before I moved to Bangalore. But yeah, I'm seeing someone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, me too. I've been seeing him for a while. Good guy. Not a misogynist, which is why I'm seeing it.
Okay.
I said it. Oh my god,
You were looking at the worm, that's why.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's why.
You're right.
That's why.
Oh God. Okay. So my next question is, what's that one green flag you always look out for in a guy?
I think a huge one is how they manage their emotions and their coping mechanisms and how they handle themselves in disagreements, because someone with a temper is just an immediate absolutely not. Like, that's terrifying. That's just not something that I'm interested in. And that can be, like, straight up dangerous. So that is my one big thing, is what are your coping mechanisms? obviously not everyone, we all have our unhealthy habits here and there. Like, I'm not saying that I'm some perfect whatever, but just how you manage your negative emotions, and how you handle disagreements. Like, do you shut down? Do you get really angry? Or are you able to actually have a productive conversation about it? Because without that, you're not going to get anywhere. Like, you can't build a strong, like, long-lasting relationship if you don't have that ability to sort of, like, talk these things out and have open discussions and be willing to hear someone out about things. So, and just temper, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's a hard, immediate no.
Yeah. For me, I agree with everything she said. I've been doing that since like the start. We have just so similar views, which is probably why we're friends. But oh my god, sorry. I think for me, just adding to what she's saying, I think I'm someone who feels more. So if I'm with someone and I just have that sense of, so your body tells you before your mind tells you stuff, right?
Okay.
If you're with somebody and you feel safe, you feel held, that's a green flag. I think like the world has become so like green flag, red flag, ick, no ick. It's more deeper than that. We're all humans. We're all nuanced. We come with our own traumas. And if you're looking for a partner for you that fits your puzzle pieces, it's never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Interesting, because I think first question you should ask is, are you a green flag if you're looking out?
but that's a feeling. I don't think it's a green. It's not about.
I think that's just things you notice over time.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, if he has one green flag that negates his like
Okay.
A red flag is not.
it's not like that. It's about, I think, you've found the right person for you when like in your times of need you feel safe. I think safety is the most important thing in a relationship, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, it's just a feeling. When you're with the right person. They say that like when you don't know if you should marry someone, if the fact that you're questioning you don't know, you shouldn't marry them.
And like, I was never a big thing. Like, I was also unsure of like, when you know, whatever. But it was actually the person that I'm seeing now. Like, when I first met him, basically immediately within like the first few times we met, I was like, oh, I am gonna fall for this person. Like, I knew that from day 3. I was like, yep, that's gonna happen, and here we are. And that has not happened to me before. In the past, when I've like in my past, not that all my relationships were like fine, like there was nothing wrong with them, but I've never had that kind of certainty. And I think, I agree that sometimes you can just, and obviously first impression, like you can be wrong, and you can kind of, as you get to know someone more, things might change. But largely, like if you're questioning it or if you're unsure about it, the odds are that that's probably just not the right thing.
I also think like when you think in terms of green flag, red flag, black and white, you're taking away the fact that we're all humans at our core, and the reason why he is a red flag is because, again, this is not justifying anybody. I'm not saying go ahead and be with a fucking red flag. Don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, also don't be his caregiver. I'm just saying, like, we do, as a society, if we really want to grow, I don't think segregating people and putting them in a box is the best thing to do. It's like, okay, you're a red flag. I don't necessarily see myself in a relationship with you, but maybe I can help you grow. Maybe I can be, because I feel like sometimes these people that are red flags, also talking with so much empathy and stuff. I guess I'm just trying to have a different take on this. But not everybody is born like a red flag, right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Everyone is a product of their circumstances and what they've been through.
So if somebody shuts off or is hot and cold with you, maybe because of childhood trauma where their parents were hot and cold with them, that's the only way they know how to act in a situation. Like, I struggle with that in my relationships too. Like, there's a lot of conditioning that shows up in my relationship. Like, when I needed somebody or someone the most as a kid, again, my parents were wonderful, but I was bullied as a kid, Oh yeah, I was fat kid, just running around, just rolling around. Oh no, yeah, people tell me that, but I was chunky. I wouldn't say fat, but which is why I have a personality now. So I'm glad I was fat. I recommend everybody to be fat as a kid, but I think everybody needs to be fat at one point. But sorry, what was I saying?
Empathy, having
Right. So as a kid, like as an 8-year-old Mansi, when I went to school and people bullied me for how I looked, like the only way I could cope with it was kind of detach, right?
Okay.
because I felt unsafe, unheard in that moment. And I feel like in my current life, I carry that with me now. Where like because that childhood version of me is triggered, where I feel unwanted. So even if this person just communicating their needs, I can't help but make myself the center of my world. Because when I wanted other people to be there for me, nobody was there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense because for the guy, it might seem like a red flag when you're shutting up.
Yeah, but
there's
it's not
a reason.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, like, if someone is treating you badly, oh, it's for a reason and you should be understanding of that. And, like, obviously if someone's treating you badly,
so
don't
like if
stick
a red
around,
flag
but
in a guy, so love bombing is a red flag that they say a guy has. Maybe that's how he gained approval from his parents, by giving them gifts, by giving them this and that. It's not anybody's fault. Like,
nobody's choosing to be
and you can't even blame the parents, because the parents treated them a certain way. So how far are you going to trace up the ancestral tree? Who are you going to blame? You don't blame anybody. What you do is, I think the best way for every human being is to operate from empathy, and just kind of not justify people's behavior, but understand that they're coming from where they're coming from and do what you have to do to protect yourself. Because I'm not saying like be with a red flag just because he went through something in his life.
I can fix him. Like,
I can fix it. No, you can never fix him. Once a cheater, always a cheater. But like, because see, when somebody, okay, so I think I have a good point, because I feel like I've been roaming around in circles. So if a guy is hot and cold to you, I think our generation, we've become so narcissistic as a generation. We kind of are like, oh, I may not look pretty enough. Maybe I'm not skinny enough for him to do that, right? Sometimes it's like, if he's a real jerk, probably. But like, instead of internalizing it, kind of make it his own thing. Like, he doesn't know how to communicate.
Yeah, like,
he's
it's
a
not
bad
reflecting
communicator.
on me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there was a guy who ghosted me.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I can choose to take this as like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I have whatever. And then I realized, I'm like, no, this is just someone who is not good at communication, doesn't know how to have, like, it's not a big deal. If you're not into someone, you just tell them, and it's not a huge deal. And so when that happened, I think earlier, younger versions of myself would have kind of spiraled and been like, what did I do? And like, keep trying to reach out and be in touch. But then at a point, I realized, I was like, this is not a reflection of me at all. This is entirely a reflection on this other person and their inability to communicate and behave like a mature adult. So that's nothing to do with me. If they've gone and done that, that's not someone I would have wanted in my life anyway. Yeah. So it's
like,
fine.
Imagine like at the start of the relationship, he's ghosting you. What, is he going to ghost you when you get pregnant? Like, is he going to ghost you when your dad's in the hospital? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how a generation doesn't think like that. I mean, I think I've also had my phases of deep insecurity where I would think like that, but I feel like this all comes with age. The older you grow, the more your sense of self strengthens. Sure. And once you have a strong sense of self, nobody can shake you. Because you're always doing things that are in the favor of your, like, higher self. Right. I think so, yeah. And also, like, I feel like a lot of this generation, especially, like, whenever somebody is not giving them the attention that they want, like, or, like, ghosting, like, as she said, it's kind of like they want to chase more. Which I've never understood, because in my head, I'm like, how are you going to love somebody who's not obsessed with you? Like, that's, I don't know how I've been conditioned like that, but I've never been with a fuck boy. I've never been with a fuck boy, because in my head, I'm like, how is he not obsessed with this? Like, what is it? And I feel like that's the mindset everybody needs to have, no matter, like, how you look, whatever. So I think everybody just needs to, very cliche, but love themselves more.
And that, sometimes when you see a red flag, you understand that this red flag can be corrected in a person, and you categorize the degree of red flag, that this is unbearable for me, and this is bearable.
Everyone
for
has
me.
like, there's deal breakers and things that like straight up is just not something you should go through. But yeah, of course, there's a lot of things, like even I myself, like there have been things in the last few years, even like this year recently, where I'm like, okay, I recognize this is, you know, not a healthy or like a negative behavior I have. Like, I need to work on that. And yes, in that moment, it is a red flag and it is a problem, but it also, a lot of it depends on how willing someone is to work on their shit. Yeah. Because we've all got it. We've all got our baggage, trauma, problems. Yeah, it's being open to working on it and putting effort in.
I feel like people think love is about, oh, him getting you roses, him taking you out on dates, which, like, he should. And so should you, both ways, because we're feminist. But it's more about, oh, this person is willing to change.
Like, willing to put the work in. And not even change in the sense of, like, you need to be a different person, but, like, Work on
Just
your
like the
shit.
things I'm communicating, these things hurt.
Yeah.
What is he doing about that?
Yeah, and that really means a lot. Obviously, you don't have to get there. Like, that's a process. It takes
Yeah.
time. Nobody's ever, like,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But just being willing to put the effort in.
Patience. I think patience is
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm. But
So
yeah.
the person is ready to understand you and improve his.
Or you improve for him.
Yeah, like, it's a
It's not a man's job.
Yeah.
Always. I think it's a human being.
It's like both of you working together.
You
Like,
love somebody.
yeah.
You got to put in the effort. I'm
because, like,
sorry.
bettering yourselves will lead to a better relationship.
Because it's more about internal awareness and
Oh, yeah.
reflecting inside what's bad in you and then trying to correct it.
Yeah,
Right.
because, like, there's no point in harping on other people when if you've got your
Yeah.
own stuff. Like,
I mean,
nobody's perfect. There's no, like...
By all means, you want to always put the blame on somebody and live your life like that, you're going to be stuck in the same negative pattern until you, like, do something about it. So,
Interesting.
speak from experience. We both. We're 26 years old.
Okay.